Hi, this is Miss Veldman-Tentori, and considering your assignment is due on Friday, the 6th of October before 5 p.m., I thought I'd walk you through just one last time for anybody who is still a bit stuck on something or just wants to clarify a few things before they submit. You should be really familiar with this by now. We've gone through everything with you in the workshops, and things have been covered in the lectures, but you can find it there on Blackboard under assignments, assignment 1, and I'll just talk you through it. So the obvious, it's the ebusiness and your lecturers. It was released quite a while ago and the deadline is this coming Friday. Results, I've got C Blackboard, but it will come up on Osiris. We'll be grading them the week before and the week after the autumn holiday, and we'll get grades to you as soon as possible. This is worth 60% of the module, and it is an individual assignment. So it's a report, business model and plan, and you'll be submitting just a digital copy. I've set up Dropboxes on Blackboard, and there's one for each class. So please submit it in your class. Let's go back and I'll show you here. So in assignments, see here you've got 2A, 2B, 2C right through, and any Weaver students that are not currently in year 2. If you're an exchange student, please upload it in the class that you have been attending. So to go back here, so just the overview, this also comes from your study guide. eBusiness offers many advantages and new opportunities for the international business environment, and you're selecting a current business as a case study and writing a business model and plan with a focus on evaluating and analysing the ICT trends relevant to this business. You will then, in assignment 2, use this understanding to create a new business, website, SEO plan, and social media plan. So the 2 assignments are tied together. You can collaborate with your classmates and work in small groups and workshops, but it's an individual report. So the learning objectives that you're covering in this assignment, firstly, completing a business overview and analysis for an existing business. You already started doing this in year 1, and now you're practicing it in year 2. You're evaluating ICT trends in business and then applying these to a case study. As an international business student, it's constantly important to understand and illustrate dimensions of culture and how they affect business. I've had quite a lot of questions about this. Mr. Choi will be recording a short screencast as well. That's the week 6 lecture, online lecture. But after the ICP week, the Intercultural Project Week in year 1, as well as this being mentioned and covered in many of your subjects, and the fact you're studying in a multicultural environment, you need to understand some different aspects of culture and how it affects business. So that will be a part of many of your assignments and, of course, your thesis and your internship. And some really practical skills that you have learned in this module, which is creating a business model canvas and completing a target market analysis using personas. So the report should be a minimum of 10 pages. We're using this as a guideline. I've had a few questions. Does the cover page count? Do the business model canvas and the personas count? We're slightly flexible with that, but the 10 pages is a guideline, and please try and stick to that as closely as possible. We just don't have the time to read or grade huge reports, and you should be able to cover all the most important aspects in that length. Needs to be written in correct English. You have a checklist available on Blackboard, and this is something that you learned also in year 1, how to professionally present reports. It is an individual report, and you should have all attended workshops to get some further information if you were a bit stuck. The workshops haven't been compulsory, and there's one more workshop this coming week, and that's the opportunity to talk to your lecturers and your fellow students about this assignment. Everything you need to complete the assignment has been covered now in the online lectures, with the exception of specifically mentioning culture, but Mr. Choi is recording that for the lecture coming this week, and all of the live workshops have covered everything you need to know. As a Year 2 student in particular, we also expect you to be able to now reference correctly. MLA is the style that we use. Again, in this module, we can be slightly flexible on the exact referencing style, but you need to use correct referencing. Also, don't base your entire assignment simply on what we tell you in class. And you'll notice that in the online lectures, I've always, from the very first one, encouraged you to get out there and research what is ICT and show us that you can now present a bit of critical analysis and back up any decisions that you make. So to go through the sections all one by one, so section 1 is the business overview and analysis. You have chosen a case study, and the case study is here on number 3. You should have long ago discussed this with your lecturer. If you're doing a very last minute assignment, make sure you read everything in great detail to make sure that you're meeting the criteria. So you need to choose a small to medium sized business, either for a sole trader or an organization with a staff of up to about 10. Again, some have discussed a small exception with me or their other lecturers where it might be slightly larger, but we have explained it has to link to an assignment in assignment 2, so big businesses just aren't suitable. It cannot be a large multinational company. We will not grade assignments that do not meet this criteria. It must be an established business. It can be located anywhere in the world. Your second assignment, building a website, will be based on this business, but with some changes. So for example, if you set it on a bakery, a current bakery, in assignment 2, and we'll explain this to you after the break, you'll need to kind of rename the bakery because you'll be making a live website. You do not have to contact the organization involved. You should have used the website just for inspiration to get the information you needed. And some of you have used a family friend's business and discussed it with them. Those who haven't talked to the business, or even if you have, we also understand you may have to make some calculated estimates. Just describe this in your business overview and analysis. We will not grade assignments that have a higher forest grade than 10, meaning that the text has been copied from another assignment or somewhere else. And some classmates may, very rare, but even if you've chosen an identical business, your assignments will be different if you do the analysis yourself. So we asked you much earlier if you were having trouble finding a business to base your assignment on. We are now, we understand you should all have a business now. If you are listening to this screencast and you do not have a business, it is going to be extremely difficult for you to successfully complete the assignment in the time now to a sufficient standard. But if you still do not have a business, please ask in the workshops this week urgently or in the Facebook group. Check Blackboard for the IBMS report guideline. But to go back up here, so that talks you through the business overview. We suggest you include information covered in the lectures and research, and you should be working through the digital workshops, the Google workshops online. But you need to describe your business, why you've chosen it as well would be useful. Present situation analysis, so what's happening with the business right now? What kind of situation? Are they a new business? Have they been operating for a while? You might, some students have decided to do a SWOT here, which is fine, and talk about a little bit about the industry that they're operating in, the analysis of culture, which Mr. Choi's lecture will give you a few additional tips. But by now, you should be understanding a little bit about what culture is and how it affects business. So one very basic example is, where is your business located? What language do they use? What nationality are the staff? What nationality are the customers? And how does this affect the way the business operates? And lastly, the online-offline integration. Mr. Jungmans did an online lecture on that this week, which you can watch, but it is also just describing how does your business operate online and how does this match with offline. For places that have a store, for example, it's going to be slightly different than those that operate completely online, but even businesses that operate only online will have often some kind of offline marketing materials, or the way they operate, or how they post their products. So that's section 1, that's worth 20%. So do it in a professional report style, and that's a bit of a guideline for you. The ICT analysis. So in the very first online lecture, I encouraged you to go and find out what ICT was. And then a couple of weeks later, recently Ms. Moore did an online lecture to give you a few more tips if you were stuck about what is ICT. And then you need to apply that to the business you've chosen for the case study. So talk about how do they use ICT. Make sure also that you define what you believe ICT is and what you've based this on. Why should they continue to invest in the ICT they're currently investing in, or more? Should they increase it? What exactly should they be investing in? This is where you're analysing a current business, but by year 2 you should be starting to show signs of being able to do a critical analysis and think through. So what are they currently doing? Is this okay? Is this working for them? What other suggestions could you potentially make? Scalability is about how a business grows, and ICT often is crucial in supporting this. So their website, for example, what kind of traffic can it handle? Can people buy online, offline? And when the business grows, how will this affect the ICT? And then the financial analysis, you do not have to do a complete financial analysis for the entire business, but we're talking here about ICT. What is the business spending on ICT, do you think? We understand you may have to make some estimates here. I've talked in some online lectures about what it costs to run a website and social media. This is one part of ICT, and you may have some others. And then for the higher grades, we would like to see your kind of knowledge of weighing up the cost and the benefits. You can use a small table to do this. You can use text, but make sure it's professionally presented and clear to the reader. Section 3 is all about business planning and opportunities, and the tool that you're using to do this is the business model canvas. So you need to include the one-page business model canvas template. There's many ways you can do this online. I've seen lots of examples in the workshops. If you're really stuck, and as long as it's neat and able to be clearly read, you can also handwrite and scan it in. It's up to you. But a business model canvas should be one page, essentially just with a few dot points in each, maybe 2 to 3 dot points on each, depending on your business. Then underneath in your report, you will be describing each of these 9 sections. So say if your key partners is partner A, partner B, partner C, underneath you would describe a little bit about why they are the key partners. So to get the 25% in this section, you need a completed one-page plan, and then a short description on all of the sections and how they relate to your case study and business. So we've run through that a couple of times now in the workshop, so that should be clear to everybody. Section 4 is your target market analysis. So there's many ways you can analyze a target market, but we've again given you specific tools, being a persona. So you need 2 personas, and you should also realize that your customer segments here in your business model canvas are also going to give a bit of a lead in or show who your target market are, and then you're creating personas for 2 of those. A persona is a representation of your ideal client. They should have a name, they should have a photo and a description. There are many templates you can use. We've suggested a couple, and we expect in the report just a little bit of an overview talking about why you've used the templates, for example, and a little bit about your target market. Then 2 personas. They can either be in your appendix or in the report main body itself, and it should be clear why these personas are the ideal customers for the case study business that you're examining, and a little section again about how does culture impact the business and your target market. So that's worth 25%. And then the last section is the professionalism and readability of the report. So we've given you a guideline that is from, I think, year 1. We're not ticking off every single piece, it's a guideline, but it should be for us as lecturers. But if a business manager was to read this report, it should be clear, it should be easy to understand, and the main information should stand out. We recommend that you should always have an introduction and conclusion and some recommendations in any business report, and it should be a professional layout with a cover sheet and nice to read in a Word document. So that's just a recap of everything that we expect. We have been through this in all the workshops, in all the online lectures. So if you've been following along in the syllabus, and in the syllabus, the Block 1 schedule is all laid out here for you, what you were expected to do every week. So I hope you've learned a lot so far in this module. I've been through the case study and then just to show you the grading rubric. So this gives you even more transparency about exactly how we're grading your reports. Your lecturer will look at each of these sections and determine, for example, for the business overview and analysis, whether you've addressed them but you don't really clearly show that you understand the concepts, right through to outstanding, meaning that you've used research and referencing and you've explained and analysing each of these points. So this is just a tool that we use and that we're showing you how we grade the reports so that you know exactly what we expect. So I hope you've enjoyed this module so far, and we're looking forward to reading your reports. They're always interesting to read about the different businesses that you've chosen. We will see you in the workshops this week, and then in Block 2, the schedule is already in the syllabus. So we will be creating a website, SEO strategy, social media strategy in Block 2. If you have any questions, you can ask in the Facebook group. Please do not send direct personal messages on Facebook to your lecturers. You can email them. However, we will not be answering a stream of personal emails. The workshops are the place that you should be coming to ask your questions. Emails and consult hours are really just if you have come to the workshop and you still cannot figure something out, then the emails and the consult hours are a backup. So good luck with your assignment, all the best, and we will see you in the workshops.